Yeah, thank you
Could
very
you
much.
please share your screen
Yeah, I will share my screen.
and open your PPT, whatever the topics are there, and walk me through? Over to you, Naveen.
Yeah, sure, Reveling. Today I'm going to present in a plan of 11 to 15 lessons. In that we are going to see many topics from that and many questions with that. We have the slide, so I'm going to explain about it. The first we see about the topics which we are going to cover today. The topics which we are going to cover is customizing views and save views. By the next, we are going to see about the user experience, classic dashboard, and security. These are the topics which we are going to see today. And these are the questions, and I'm going to explain it in the slides too. While walking through the slides of after seeing these questions, this we have style settings and how to set that, how to check the model size, line items, history settings, and sparsity. What is about the sparsity and how we should manage that, and the customizing view and the saved view we are going to see about that also, and we are going to see the benefits of them also. And by the next, conditional formatting, standard filters, and select levels and sorting, these are the customizing views that we can do. This also we are going to see. And components of user experience and classic dashboards, and what is the term of user experience, and what are the pages we have different pages. So that is also we are going to do, which is we are going to create the personal pages and cards, which is in the boards and worksheet. This we will be seeing the cards also. We are going to particularly see about the grid card and user board, and also finally we are going to see roles, users, and workspace administrators with selective access and roles. Classic dashboards, we are going to publish the classic dashboards, how to synchronize it, and how the quick filter is used. These are the things we are going to see with that we are going to cover today. So let me start with the style settings. The style settings which is helpful to make the differentiation of line items with one to other, so that we can fix the line items with the indent we'll be having in the Excel, so that we can do with this line item too, so that we can differentiate from one line item to another line item. So that is the main purpose of the style. We can see the style in the blueprint view, the column style. It will be available so that we can fix that. Here we have multiple style settings like heading 1, heading 2 as such, and summary 1, summary 2, summary 3 as such. Now we are going to see the practical implementation. Here, let me go to the Rev04 module. Let me do that indentation. Okay, let me take our report module for an example. So let me go to the blueprint view. Here we have style column, right? Here we can fix the style settings. So let me take the employee expenses. Let me take us to highlight this. I'm informing again the system to show the summary of other costs too. Now we can see the indent has been happened and the highlight has been done as bold. These are the process of style settings. Let me show the another thing too, which is by heading. Let me take it as revenue as heading to show for the user. This requirements happen by the model builder only, that he need to differentiate in the sense he can take the style settings so that that will be highlighted. So we can see the process. The heading has been changed. We can see many style settings here. Let me take a summary 3 as such. We can see the differentiation is happening with one to another styles. So these are the process of style settings. The next is module size and the line item size. The module size is a main thing while creating the module. We should be aware of the module size and the line item size so that it will be helpful to reduce the size of the model which we are creating, and it will not affect the performance too. So that only we are uh, having this module size and line item size. To check module size, we need to go to modules. Under the model settings, we can see the model cell counts as such, and how much MB or megabyte or gigabyte has been covered by the module. So we can see that option, and that we can check the line item size by going to the blueprint view. We can see the cell counts in that, so that is also possible. So let me see that how it is. Here we can see this is a model cell counts and model size. Now we are going to see the cell counts too. Here we can see the cell counts which is by the line items. Here we can see the head count is taking the cell counts of 1836. Why? Because we have added the dimensionality of country and regions, so that it will be showing with different cells. And we have the budget and actuals too, so that these are the cell counts has been happening here. These are the process of cell counts of to calculate the module size and the line item size. The next we are going to see about the history, which is helpful to see what are the audit things, what are the things we do. We can audit by the model history and as such, and we can see the entire model, how it is created, with how many line items has been created. If we have the multiple users also, we can see which user has been created this line item, which user has been deleted this line item. These are the helpful feature of this history. And also we have one extra features like restore, which helps to restore the data which has been done previously, which will be helpful to restore that data, so that if it is deleted by a mistake or as such, in the sense we can restore the data. This is a one helpful process, one of the helpful process to the history. Let me see the history in the model, how it is looking like. Here we can see the ID here and the time here, the user who are the user. If we have the multiple users, in the sense the multiple user IDs will be shown here. This are the description, which are the process has been done. Here the security change, previous value, this all will be changed as per the creation when we have administration role as such. There is a model and list which is changed, that will be shown here. And line item property, currency as such, these are the process will be shown here. Multiple process we can see, multiple columns we can see here. We talked about restore ID. So now let me see how this restore ID will restore. So if we click restore to ID, in the sense we have here 2002425. This is done the line item change, so that if we need to skip that process of before, which we done is for, let me show that. Here I have changed the line items in profit and loss rep 03. By the before I have changed the rep 03 line item has been changed. If we need to avoid this two actions which is done in the model, in the sense we need to restore this ID, so that these line items will be updated as per our request of storing the ID. This is the process of the history. By the next, we are going to see about the sparsity. Sparsity, which is the sparse cells, we can call the sparse cells within the Anaplan model, are cells that do not contain and which is not expected to contain the data. Why? Because here we can see the multiple data without a dense. Why we calling as dense, in the sense this cell has been densed with some values, so we are calling as dense. Here the values does not have any values which is presented as 0, so we are calling it as sparse cells. So now we know don't want the APAC and AMER, in the sense we know we can avoid this line items or this list while updating the updating the list, updating a dimension in the module, so that we can restrict or we can save the model size, and we can do efficiently. This is the one of the benefit to think about it. So the spaces should be avoided. And why we are considering this much, in the sense it will allocate the memory space in the each and every cell, so that we should try to avoid the sparsity which is happening in the model. So by the next, we are going to see the saved use and their benefits. System modules which we can, before talking about the saved use, let we talk about the system modules, which why we are having this saved use. Normally the system modules will be created with some other list or some other line items will be having, so that we can't pivot as per the requirement while creating the model. Well, after creating the model, we'll be creating the module, so we can't do this process. So we are creating the saved use, which helps to differentiate from one module to the another module, which means if we created this is a original module of system modules we have created. Now we want with a particular line items, in the sense if we have 10 line items, if we need only 3 line items in that module, in the sense we can make our customization views, and we can save this process, so that it will have the data, so that we no need to create the another module with the same line items as such. And we no need to import, or we no need to do the formulas, so that this will be helpful. The saved use will be helpful for that. And this is also helpful for exporting the data, importing the data, and to make filters, and also mainly used for grid and the chart, which we use for the display purpose and the UX page for the end user. So by the next, we see about the conditional formatting, which enables the color cells, and this will be for the display purpose. Mainly, it will be done by the number format, so we can choose as per the styles we need. We can add as per the colors. Color gradings can be given by applying a rule. We can do this color format. So how we can do this? Let me show this with the implementation. Now we are going to the module of currency rate. Now here we have the conditional formatting. Now let we add the rule, like let the minimum is like -0 and the maximum as 1. This is for an example I'm taking. As per the customer requirement, as per the display purpose, we'll be changing this. So we have multiple option to colors, so that we can select as per that. Let me select this yellow and blue. Here we have different scales too. If any mid values are there, we can also select that. Now we are going have this two scales only. So let me apply this. Here we can see the preview how the colors will be delivered in the module. So now we can see everything is greater than 0. That means we didn't have any subtraction here. So that let me show some difference by manually changing it. Let me take it as 0. Let me take it as 0.52. Let me take this as 0.85. Here we can see the difference here, the 0 having a color. Let me show with the different colors. Let me edit this. Let me have this a red and yellow. So here we can see the highlight features of that. Here, if it is a -1, in the sense it is showing as a full red. The one which is shown in the yellow, which is 100% yellow, this is 100% red. So these are the difference we fixed in the intermediate, so it is showing in the different color, and the 0.52 which is showing with a different color as such, which is covering to them. Now let me show with minus 0.52 how it does look. So now we can see which is nearer to that condition formatting which we are given the rule, it is changing as per them. So this is the process of conditional formatting. Let me delete this for we created for an example. Let me change the values to. Now it came to the actual. This is the process of conditional formatting. This can be done with the color grading. Next, standard filters. Standard filters which is helpful for a filtering purpose. This can be done with a certain scenario which is given or requirement by the user. Now let we implement this standard filters also. Now we need to add the rule as like the conditional formatting. Here we have different rule as such. Here we have the rates. Here we have the time. Now we are saying the system that compared to this rates and by having the time as March 19, which is greater than 0. So as per that, that is what we are informing the system. Let me take Jan 19 as such, which is 1.52. Let me take 1.52. So we can see whichever is above 1.52 that has been delivered here. So this is not a time format. Time format can be fixed here. Now we are doing for whole model itself. So we are giving the rule, or we are applying the condition, giving the condition that which is high greater than 1.52, show only that. This is the filter we are applied here. So now we can see whichever is 1.52 that has been delivered here. We can't see whichever is less than 1.52. So let me show the difference of it. Here we can see if I enable the filter, we can see the required things has been, we can see. This is the main use of the filter. Now let me clear the filter. Let me go to the next slide. We have seen the filter, how the filter has been done. The next we are going to see the select levels in the grid view. The select levels, which is helpful for selecting one hierarchical level to the another hierarchical level, which will be updated from automatically if we have multiple levels. In the sense, if the customer or end user are asking for one level, I need only the particular level. In the sense, we can give him or we can deliver the data which is as per his requirement. Let me see how to do that also. Let me take the report module. Let me pivot that. I'm changing line item to the pages. I have changed country to the rows. Now we can see these are the list we have updated here, which means I have updated the dimension. Now we are going to select the levels. Here we can see G2 region, G2, G1 region details, summaries and countries. Now I am saying the system to show only except countries, show the regions. That's what I'm informing the system. Now we can see the data, which is as per the levels which we selected. We selected only the region list, so the region has been selected. The values, this is done by the forecast. So we can see the data also, which is as per the regions. This is the main use of the select levels. This can be updated while doing the dashboards or user UX page. Let me remove this level. How to remove that? In the sense, if we click show all, in the sense, we can, it will be removed. Let me change the pivot to. So these are the process of select levels. The next we are going to sort. and show how it is implemented. The sorting which will be helpful to arrange from one order to the another order, which will be making easier and making meaningful to show the datas. So it will be visually good if we create the sorting in the sense. Now let me create sorting. Here we can see we can make the values as ascending and descending as such. So let me make it as descending. Let me keep as group at end, whichever is made. Wait for 1 second. Let me reduce the resolute size of the browser so that we can see that applying button. So now we can see that apply button. Here we can see select the levels too. And now we are going to keep the both levels, and I'm going to make it descending, and which should be group at the end. This is what I'm saying to the system. Now we can see whichever is done, it is made with the ascending. So we can see the summaries has been delivered in the bottom. So this is the process of, let me show with the difference. Let me unselect. Now we can see the summary levels has been shown and the line items which we fix. Now let me see the difference. Now we can see the line item summaries has been created in the bottom. So these are the main use of the sys sorting. By making ascending and descending, we can see the values difference too. Let me clear remove sort to. Let me make it as an actual thing which is happened, which is we have. So by the next we are going to see the components of user pages. The main two components of user pages are user experience are pages and apps, which means pages will be having the boards and worksheet, which is same as the apps. It will create a particular apps for the personal pages as such, so that the pages are created. Apps are created with related many groups, which represent for the business functions and the process. This apps can be implemented for the mobile purpose also, so that the end user can see his in the personal app, which is available in the Play Store. The classic dashboard, the classic dashboard, which is mainly used for the secondary type of user experience, which is embedded in the model. So if we add an element in the model, if we'll be creating many modules, right? So we'll be implementing in the dashboard by adding the models, which is called as elements. So if we implement, in the sense we'll deliver the data, we can show the data to the user, so he can make any adjustment, or he can update the list whichever as per the requirements. Now we are using user experience nowadays. Before that, a classic dashboard is used. The user experience came as a new feature, and classic dashboard has came as an old feature, but that is a helpful process too. In some cases, as per the requirement of end user, we can deliver this dashboard too, which is similar to the user pages. There's a main difference of that, which is not a main difference, main similarity of that, which is mainly used for the display purpose, the UX page and the dashboards too. Here the UX page has pages, apps, cards, and classic boards, which is comes under the UX experience. Pages, which is an interface of planning activities, and the classic dashboard is also a planning activities only, but it is a secondary user experience board, so that will be helpful. Cards, which are mainly used to differentiate from one display purpose to another display purpose, which we can do multiply in the board. Apps, which is created for the end user, we can see that in the pages user experience too. Types of pages, in the sense we can see this in the UX page, in the new UX, so that we can see boards and the worksheet. Boards which are helpful to provide the multiple information, like high level information. We can add many cards in that, so that it will be more visually appealed, and if an CEO of a company asking, I need a data as per the requirements, in the sense we can deliver the data as per his requirement, that will be very well useful for him, which will also give the high level information. And this worksheet, which is mainly used for interacting purpose. If we have a big size of grid, in the sense as we have an Excel, in the sense that will be a little big grid we'll be having, so that we can't make that in boards, and we can make edit or do such process. So that in that situation we can use worksheet, and we can make a alteration, or if we need to explain, in the sense, or if we need to, if the end user also need to make some changes, or he should play some values changing, or how this region or how this country is performing, he needs to see the difference, in the sense that worksheet will be helpful for him. So this is a process of this two types of user experience pages. And now we are going to see how to create our personal page. Now let me go to the pages. Here we can see how can we go for pages. Let me see that first. We can go pages by navigation bar, which is present in the top. Here we can click my pages. We will be delivered in that. If we need to go to apps, in the sense, we can click apps. Now we are performing in my pages, so that I'm creating the pages by clicking the create pages. Here I have board and the worksheet, which I explained before, the board and worksheet. So here we can see the idea of manipulating and underlaying module data, the perfect construction of the dashboards. These are the two options we have to create. This is what the slide. Now we are going to see how to create it. Let we let we click boards. Here we can see the page name. Here this can be alterated as per the requirement of our reference naming convention. Now I am changing it as test. So if we have multiple workspaces, in the sense we will be having the multiple workspace names. Now we are having one workspace, so that we have that now. So next is the model which we are going to implement is level one conclusion. We are creating that. So now the board has been created. This is how the board has been created here. So we can see the naming convention which we created, and we can edit this too after creating also. Here we can see what we created, board designer. This is what we created. So we done this process. And next we are going to see the cards. Here we have multiple cards as like grid, chart, KPI, text card, image, field, action, and map. These are the different cards we have, so that we are going to see the particular implementation of each cards. Before that, let me see about this grid card. Had a grid card for a display purpose, a grid card which is mainly used for delivering the module datas for a limited datas which we can deliver. We have worksheet for giving the entire datas, but in the boards we can deliver only the important data, highlighted datas, which is asked by the end user, and we can configure that also. Let me see the practical implementation. Now let me go to the grid card. Here we see the add cards as such. Here we have multiple cards like text card, as I said before. Now I am going to add the grid card. We have two ways to add the card. We can drag and we can add, and also we can double click and we can add the card. So now let me configure the grid card, and we can see the multiple options here like view, title, description, title card, and link to page. We will be seeing clearly. Now we are updating the source. So we are take in view tab, we can see the update source as such. Now we are going to take some module like report module. Let me take the report module. Here we have multiple line items. So we have the multiple tools like this. So like this in the sense we have pivot, we can do pivot here, filter here, and sorting, show and hide, conditional formatting, reorder. These are the process we can done in this view. Why I'm saying views in the sense we have two views here, like customizing views eh, and module views. The module views we will not get the options like the tools which we have like pivot, filter, sorting, show, hide, and conditional formatting and the reorder as such, which is done predefined. So I will be showing that now we are doing in the customizing view. So we need only, let me take only 4 line items as revenue, and let me do that. Let me show and hide. Here we have option like line items. Let me show only headcount, revenue, cost of sales, margin, and margin percentage. These are the recommends as per that. Now let me apply that. Here we can see the whichever we selected that is delivered here. This now I taken for an example. If we apply in real time scenarios, this recommend will be changed. Now we are updating this. Here we can see the data has been updated. Why here zero values in the sense this is forecasted so that it is not shown. This is done implementation with the focus. So now the values we got here, we have the multiple line items which we selected so that the data has been created. This is a grid card. Here we can see multiple like allow editing as such that will allow to edit some values. So we can do that also. We can allow pivot after creating if a end user is seeing this personal page in the sense if we need to pivot in different ways, so that we are giving this allow also. And we can change the row height as such, and some like context selectors, some customization we can do, and we can say the hierarchy, like hierarchy time hierarchy we can add. So now we no need, so we are removing that. And we can here we can see the page should, we are saying the system to sync the page. If we have multiple models, multiple elements in the UX page in the sense, if we need to sync with the country of another grid in the sense, we can make the sync with the page selectors, so that that will be more helpful to differentiate from one country to different country while changing the countries. We'll be delivering the values. So if we click publish, the values will be a change, the values will be published. Now we can make change here and we can deliver the data. If we have the versions with the different updations in the sense, we can deliver that too. So this is a process of grid card. Now let me see about the chart card. Let me go to the normal view. Now I'm going to add the card. Let me add the source too. Let me take the margin calculation or volume inputs as such. Okay, I taken the price growth rates. Now we have the growth rates here. As per the year, it is filtered. Now let me publish it. So now it is shown here. Let me change the values. Why the graph is not showing in the sense we are selected in Brazil. So, but the data which we updated is done in the country, so that it is not showing. Now we can see the line items which is shown here. We can unselect that if we need, if we have multiple line items in the sense, we can unselect that which is shown here, highlighted here, that will only shown here. so that if we need only the price in the sense unit price in the sense we can deliver here too. These are the process of this. We have multiple features in this too. Let me show that also. Here, let me click edit. Now we can see the multiple options like add colors and chart type. Here we can differentiate the chart type. Here now we can see the multiple line items in a year we can see. If we click as per that, this will be delivered. These are the types. Here we have customization views for the colors, and we can make a serious stacking, which is stacking in the sense one above one, like that we can say. Here we have access. We can say if we have the recommend like show access in the sense we can click, and we can fix the labels too, which is as per the recommend. Here we have the labels here in the bottom. Now we can the bottom we can deliver in the top also. Let me show that. Here we can see the labels has been moved to up. So these are the process, and this is a context selectors customization view, and we can see the context selectors colors, and we can select the history, not history, hierarchical filters. Here we no need of country as such, so we are having this, and we can select the page selectors too. This will sync with this, and it will show the data. Now it is with the sync, so it is showing the data as per that. Let me show the difference also with that, how it is performing. Let me have the page selectors here with the UX. Let me remove the sync. Now it is updated. If I change any other values in the sense that will not be reflected here. Before we did not get the values here. So let me select the Brazil here, how it is reflecting. Here we see no values in Brazil. It is 0, so it is not showing. If I click Spain, here no values as such. Now let me change to US and show the difference. Now we seen this have values in US, so it is not reflecting with the sync. So this is the main process of that. Now we see US here. If we select the US and the page selectors, this has been shown. The values has been shown. This is the process of this grid card and the page syncing. And next KPI card, which is helpful to deliver one single value, which is as per the recommend. This will change. Let me select one random module. Let me select the report modules once. Now we can see the head count. It is showing as 10. We selected as 10 as head counts in the year. So if we see the page selectors time turned as per the time, which is as per the month, it will reflect as per that. There is a process of that. Let me select FY20. The total head counts of FY20 is 10. Let me change and show the line items. Let me show the margin now. The margin percentage of FY 2020 is 73%. This is the process of KPI card. So we can drag this and move also. This we can keep as small. So this will be shown for a display purpose. Let me see the text card, which is only for the information purpose. If we have any information that need to be said to the CEO or who are going to see the UX page or board, which we created. So let me take as test again. Let me text as a body type like this is created and let me say this information. Let me publish that. Now we can see this text card has been created. This can be dragged and kept in a small area so that it will give a small, it will not consume more information so that we can see now. For a text, we created this, so we set the body text as such. So there is a process of grid card. Next, we are going to see the image card. Image card, which is done by the link. So we should apply with an official link, which is safer and secured, which is given by the end user. Now we have no link as such. So we are informing that field card, which is helpful to make one field card and one or two line items as the grid card. We can deliver that. Let me delete this card. Now we can see, we can type the title here, description here, and the title color. Here we can see, choose the model. Now we are selecting the effects. So here we are saying to show the line items. So it is showing the particular line item which is shown in the field card. We can see in the horizontal view and the landscape view as such. Here we are saying the label should be as rates and context selector should be as, which should sync with the page selectors. These are the process which we are saying. Let me show with the different module. Here we have multiple module. So that now let me show it. Let me show the employee expenses and the profit. So if let me publish this too. If a CEO of company is seeing this whole data with a lot of information, in the sense that will be helpful for him to analyze and which way we are going and which how much percentage has been got, how much field has been added, how much expense has been added. This what we can give multiple information in this board. So these are the pros of the card which we have in the UX page. And let we see the theoretical of action card and the map card. Action card which will be helpful to make some actions which we done so that that will be delivered, and map card which is shown as per the countries which we have. Let me show that also. If we have different countries, in the sense, let me select the report module again. Here we have different countries, so I'm selecting this. Now let me go to the map. It is showing whole world view. Now let me show, here we have Canada, so let me select Canada only. Now we can see the Canada has been applied. Now we have no data for the applying for Canada. There's not given by the end user. Now we seen here for an example. So if we have Canada, in the sense, if whatever the values happen in Canada, we can deliver that. That is a process of this map card. So we finished off types of cards which we have. Next we are going to see about the roles. The roles which is mainly used for the security purpose. Why? Because if we have multiple users in the in the same model, the roles which we should create the roles. Why? Because whichever the module which other modules are made confidential, or values has been made confidential, in the sense that need that the user need should not see that. In the sense, we can restrict that user with keeping this roles, so that that will deliver only the need, what are the requirement, and it will enhance the security and the streamline process, and it will control the permissions. It will be controlled by the permission which we given to them, and this will be more easier for the admin or workspace administrator which to handle or avoid some unsecured process or unsecurity of the model, so that the roles has been created. The default of roles while creating the roles or adding the users, in the sense the main purpose is, we said, like security, so that the workspace administrator, only the one person can add the user, so that he'll be having the full access, but others who are adding as a user, in the sense they are will be automatically be as a only as no access, so that we can give a particular access to them and they can work on that. This will be done only by the workspace administrator. We can also add user within the model and roles for them, for which they are working, and which list they are needed. If they need selective access, in the sense we can give that also. This is the process done. So we have default as full access for the workspace administrator and no access for the user which we are creating, and we can select, and the only one person who can do as a workspace administrator is the workspace administrator only can give that option. So now we are going to see how to add the user in the workspace. The user can be added in by going to the user icon and adding the user, and we can enter the add user, and we can enter the mail id and the name of that to relevant to them. It should be in 60 characters, and the administrator's checkbox should be clicked as per if required, and the roles has been given by the different process like roles models and roles actions list, and versions as such. And if we click OK, that the user will be created. Let me show in the visual way. Let me go to the user here. Here we can see the user, that we can add user by giving the address, which mean email address, first name, last name, and roles which we are going to do. This is the process to add user. This can be done bulkily also. We can import bulkily also the users. Why means instead of adding one user and one user, we can use multiple user. Here we can see the workspace administrator. This also can be clicked after that. Here we have model roles. So here we can change as per the requirement. Model roles has been changed. We can add the roles also. Let me show in the further slides. Here the level of model within the model, level of model access, which means the access which is given to the persons which are as a user. The level of model access is within the model workspace administrator set to the permission of model roles, which is that they can limit the access and secure the data for the users, that the irregularities or anything unnecessary things which is we can avoid that. And user administrator provision access or to workspace is given by the administrator, so that we can do this process also in the user panel. And within the model, any workspace administrator can designate other user as a workspace administrator, which means if we are creating a user here, in the sense after creation of user, we can click the checkbox that we can add the that user also as a workspace administrator, that he can add the multiple users as per the requirement. So by the next, we are going to see the workspace administrator. What the workspace administrator can access, like manage model dialog, organizing the model within the workspace via dialog features, and within the model, he can only within the with the model only workspace administrator can access the model settings like time version, generalist, modules, line item subset, user actions, and source modules. This we can see in the models. Like these are the things that the only the workspace administrator can use. Others will be given as a role so that they can't access some others. So he can access only the models which permission given to them. By the next, he can use revision tags, history, content, dashboard, data tags. Within the model only one we can do he can do save, edit, or publish some models, and insert, delete, or move the versions, or insert, delete, move the line items. These are the process. We can say this is a power of the workspace administrator, that he can do the multiple steps or multiple process that which is implemented or which is done in the model. This can be done in a one model only. Why? Because under this one model we will be having this ID as such, so that under the one model only one person, one administrator or multiple administrator can do this in the same model. He can't do in another model. This is a process of workspace administrator. By the next, we are seeing about the selective access. The selective access which we are giving to the lower level process, or if have any Chennai or Hyderabad, and the sense if we need only to access for particular list of countries, in the sense we can give as per the data or as per the selection of updates that he need to be do. We can give him to read or write by selecting the user that he need to do. Let me show that now how this selective process is happening. This is a process we are going to do now, how to assign and remove the select access. Here we can see the user can be added, and after that we'll be giving the selective access in the general list, so that it will be this is a process of that. Let me go to the general settings. Let me click on this is not a list, this is a W model. Let me give product family and product details. Here if we select from the top level hierarchy to the child level hierarchy, in the sense one each one only will be selected. If we select this is a child of the geo hierarchy, if we click location, in the sense the parent will be also selected, so we should be aware of that. So now we see if we remove the child also, the parent has been delivered, so that we should be more careful while creating the roles or while creating the selective access. Now let me have only the product family. Let me go to the user now. Here we can see Naveen is having the level of write, read of particular list. We can select the particular list and we can apply it, so that these are the process we can do. Let me show this and remove. Now we selected this two only, and now we are having full access, so we can't. Now let me create a new role. Create as again as this. Let me fix it in end. Let me go to the user. If we let me change the role of my name, which is artist. So this is the role which we are given. So if now the restriction will be happened, see now we can see the restriction of that. The card has been restricted as per the data, as per the information which we given to the model. So it has been removed. So these are the process of this role. Now let me give full access and see the difference. Let me refresh it. Now we can see the data has been delivered. We can think we have given chocolates and shows. If we click that, it will come or not. Let me try that also. Okay, this is not a product level, so it will not be affected. Why it doesn't show in the sense we created only this. So let me create geography hierarchy also, and I will show that. So I have created a geography hierarchy. Let me go to the UX user. Now we can see the geography hierarchy. Here we can see user US. So let me click. I'm informing that only the US can be right. Other than that, we can't see anything. So let me change to Canada, and we can see the access has been denied. We select US, right? No, let we. Okay, we should give the product also. Okay, here we are saying that all products. Okay, here we have actions budget, so only it is not coming. If we deliver with the different data in the sense, this will be delivered. Let me show with the some other possibilities like America. Okay, let me add another grid card with the product hierarchy. So the roles has been fixed for the end user for with America, and as per that, so it is not showing with the other roles. Let me change to the full access. And these are the pros of restriction that we saying to the system. So it will not show the data as per the restricted process. So it will not deliver the data. Now we can see in the full access, we can see the features here. Now we can see. So if we restrict the data with a separate user, or which should show only this module and this line item in the sense, we can create this. I will be explaining why it is not shown. I will be showing in that after the further slides. While creating the roles for modules as such, we'll be explaining about that. I'll be explaining about that. Now we are seeing the difference of selective access and the role selective access, which is done in the grand down level list, which is like here we can see only the user, only the list level, so that while in a country level or location level it is there, we can give a separate access to them. so that will be helpful for them for individual users. And this roles has been used for the person need to do job in a particular model or with a particular list or with a particular versions. In the sense we can give them a process with the bulk data, but in the selective access we can give with the individual persons. So that let we see that role once. Let me go to the module, go to the user now. The module which we have on the UX page is we given report 3 module. So we are giving right option to report module for the test. So this is a problem which before happened. So now we can see it is giving the report of this. Okay, let me remove. Now we can see this has been restricted because this is taken from the FX currency model. So that that access has been denied, and whichever is done with the rep, this all done with the rep 03 model. So we gave the test only by America and all products. So under whichever comes in under America, that is only shown here. Before that we have multiple region and countries. Now we are seeing only the region under America, which is US, Canada, Mexico, and the Brazil. So there is a process of this roles which will be helpful to give a particular access to the user or particular access to the model builder who is going to build. So this will be helpful for them. Now let we create some saved views. Now to create saved views, we should let me take this FX model. Okay, the restriction has been happened. So let we remove. Here we can see, right, this has been delivered now with a particular list which is given to them. So let me remove this, remove the access. Like we are saying access to full access. Let we retain to this levels also. Okay, now we can see no selective access has been done, only the roles. Okay, roles also we need to be update, we need to change. We go to the user now. Here we gave only right. Let me change to none. So there's a process of roles. We retained that. Now we are going to see how to publish. Before that, let me see the save views. I said I will be creating the saved views. I'm going to the module. Now we can see the FX currency model here. Now I need only the particular data which I said in the starting slide that we need only the needed views. Here we said about the views, right? Now we are creating that. Let we add only the recurrent line items. Let me show only. Okay, let we do filter and saved views. Let me take a same scenario like having the line item of whichever dollars as such. This also we can do, and we can create This also like 1.52. Let's take 1.52 itself. Now this has been done. Now let we save this. To save, we should create save, click view, and we can save this. Let me take it as test again. If we need to pivot also, we can pivot. Now the saved views has been created. Here we can see the saved views. Now this 4 line items only has been created. In the default view, every line items which is available is still available. So this will be helpful for while creating the UX page or while importing as such. It will save the time or data or performance while creating. If we need to create another model for this only 4 line item, in the sense that will be more burden to create and it is not meaningful to. So that this we are doing here. So now we are going to see how to publish the dashboards. To publish dashboards, I am taking the represented revenue module for an example. Let me open the revenue module and let me publish to the dashboard. I'm creating new dashboard here, so we should name the new dashboard. And if we have any functional areas, and we can do that also. Okay, the test has been as a similar name to which we created the model, or which is similar as such. So let we take with the other naming convention. Let me take it as example. Now the element has been created. Now we can see as per as UX page. The elements also created here. Here we can see the multiple options. Here we can see multiple options to sync with one module to another module, so that it will represent the data. So this sync, how it is happening in the sense, let me show that one also, like adding the same model. Now let me go to the model. Let me publish that. This I'm doing for an example purpose. I'm adding this again in the code. Now I'm removing the labels and I'm going to add the card similar to them. Now let me remove this for also. These options can be seen in the select options, so that now the labels has been removed. You can see before that it was there. See here, if we click the checkbox, the page selectors has been delivered. Now let me go to the module and show some process how to add the page selectors. Now if we go to the views, here we can see page selectors to show. Now let me deliver the page selectors. Now time is no needed. Why? Because it is shown in a column. So now no needed. Now only the country and the products is needed. Okay, let we have here itself. We can drag and move. Okay, let we preview this. Here we set as a page sync. So if we change the products also, it will be changed. See the same values has been changed. Now I'm going to show the difference how it is. Let me save this. I am clicking sync page option to remove for location and product both. I'm saying the information should show as per the delivered and it should not change. But if the user need to see the change in the second, which is rep 03, which is delivered in low, right? This will be changed. That's what we are going to see now. Let me show that by changing. Now we can see rising bar has 625 here in the Jan 19. The rising bar has 625 in Jan 19 revenue. So let me change to Nadzo bar. So now we can see the margin calculation has been changed to 215 as per the data of Nadzo bar, but this value has been not changed. Why? Because this is kept constant. We said that page page selectors should not sync. So that this is the process of this too. Let me show that again. If here we can see page sync has been happened. If we click this element, page sync does not happen. We can add only the location to page sync also. This process also can be done, but now we removed both sync also, so it is not showing many difference with the in the elements. There's a process of classic dashboards, and this is a setup of dashboards, and this is what we see in the sync, which is by the page selectors and content selectors, and as per the hierarchies which we have, the hierarchy which means Nacho bar and all products, and the hierarchy which is in the sense here New York with country, region, and location. We have different hierarchies. We can do that also. We can make multiple filters here. So while talking about filters here, we have quick filters. This quick filters is different from standard filters. This quick filter will helpful to while explaining, and we are explaining in the sense if we need to filter a sudden change, in the sense we can do this filter. Let me click this any line items and I will show. Here it is showing. Okay, let me select whole. Okay, we can select only for the line items and columns. So let me show it as height 0, show zeros as such. If I click quick filter, we can see it is different from the standard filter. I will show the standard filters dialog box too. Now this line item, reverse line item should, which is above, let we are constantly having above 600. Let me click above 599 and apply. Here we can see only which is above 599 is shown with this line item. There is a process of quick filters while explaining to the user, or we are explaining, we are presenting in the sense as in front of any CEO of company, in the sense this will be more helpful for him while creating it. Or the end user is also required to make, I need a which is above 600, I need that only, which is in the sense we can filter that also. So these are the pros of quick filters. These quick filters can't make impact in the model. Why? Because this is just a quick filter, not a standard filter. Standard filter will look like this. This will be affected in the model too, so that we should be aware of that. Then and also we can be happy that this quick filter will be helpful. So today these are the process of 1 to 15 lessons. These are topics of 1 to 15 lessons, which we see in the customization views and saved views, user experience, dashboards, and we seen about the security like roles as such. And these are the process. And thank you. Thank you, Ravali. I have done with my presentation.
Naveen, thank you
And
so
thank you
much.
for the time.